Well, there's little question, I think, that the rapid advent of automation has affected pretty much every part of the manufacturing landscape, and for sure the quality function hasn't escaped that whirlwind of change. In the article, Are You Prepared for Quality 4.0?, Ephy Torenberg, who is the CEO of enterprise quality management software company HiQA, describes the technological and data analysis trends that are reshaping industry. The piece appeared in Wednesday's issue of the Quality Digest newsletter. Now, manufacturers across the world are coming to understand that automated processes on the shop floor can gather a staggering amount of data, but what counts is turning that mountain of data into relevant information. And the key to doing so comes from leveraging the kind of powerful tools that can help manufacturers wring the maximum insight and value out of those processes. So, to tell us more about how this works in a Quality 4.0 world, we're pleased now to welcome Ephy Torenberg to our show. Ephy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen. Nice being here.
Of course. Well, let's get to this a little bit because it's interesting, I think. Why has this issue, do you think, become such an important one for manufacturers, say, in the past 10, 15, 20 years?
Yeah. As a software company, we monitor the trends and we are trying to understand what is that affecting our customers and what are the type of services and automation they need at this point. So what we see in the last 10, 15 years is that the manufactured parts are getting smaller, more complex, and the precision requirements are much higher. So overall, there is a business pressure on the suppliers to provide higher quality parts. In addition, the life cycle of producing a part is expected and to be shorter. And there are different practices developed to make sure it happens, like just-in-time manufacturing or frequent short cycle manufacturing, continuous flow manufacturing. It's all about how can we conduct this iteration in a professional way that will reduce the delivery time and will improve the quality. So that's on one side. The other side, technology, robotics, the implementation of robotics further increases the pressure and the productivity, and the cost structure of my competitors is becoming better because they employ technology. They have robots working for them. Robots, don't take sick days. Potentially the cost, because we reach a certain tipping point of maturity and things become more of a commodity, the pricing also, the cost of those resources is being reduced. So if I'm competing in this marketplace and I don't employ advanced technology, I'm staying behind in some way. Overall, the compliance to meet standards is evolving to become much more strict and stringent, and the OEM providers are demanding more transparency because they don't want a SpaceX to explode and $300-400 million later to explain their investors. So overall, OEM sees today the suppliers as part of the critical part of their supply chain, and they demand those suppliers to adopt technology and automation so they can improve productivity, quality control, and meet time and reduce cost. These are the business aspects that drives the trend. Yeah.
And can you give us some examples of how software tools can help manufacturers control and extract value from all this data that is out there? I mean, I'm sure a lot of data is out there, but a lot of manufacturers may not be collecting it, or if they are collecting it, they may not even know what to do with it.
Yeah. So there are many ways automation and technology can improve productivity or provide that type of analytics and intelligence into the process. But let me give more simplistic example that which we will actually feature in the event a few days from now. So we have this new customer, 700 employees, 7 facilities. They're using our product along all those facilities, and using an older technology, it took them a week to take a part that has 9 pages PDF with 1,000 characteristics it took them a week to prepare an inspection plan from that part so they can give it to their inspectors. But, the CMM programmer in the same company didn't want to wait a week. They already took the same drawing. They didn't wait to get the plan, and they started programming it. Now, after a week, the program is ready, already running. The inspectors are already inspecting the parts. The plan is ready and has all this balloon numbering, but there is no correlation between the program that the inspectors are using and the numbers of the balloon. So now, after a week, now they are taking 3-4 more days to align and reconcile manually between the numbers, the numbering system that the programmers used, and the numbering system that the plan provide. What if we can provide them the tool so the plan is ready in 2-3 hours? Then the programming is following up the same code, and the collaboration is aligned. That will bring, we calculated, and the customer told us, it took their process from 8 days to 2 days. And then now all the documentation is being reconciled in one click, and if they have a change in some of the inspection data or any non-conformance, they can update the digital information. It's not manual, it's not on paper. You don't need to run through 10 spreadsheets and update it around. You just update in one place in the database, and it populates to the entire set of documentation, and in one click, you print a new report. So just taking what is already out there, deploying it properly, and streamlining the workflow, and having the team aligned around it already can cut 70-80% of the time and improve productivity and prevent errors. So that's, I think, a great example.
And that I understand, I think in concept I understand what you're saying, and we've got the digital workplace, you got CMMs, they use digital data, they spit out digital data, they take in digital data, you got, you got your design, which uses data, but these all may be on different platforms. So initially it isn't an integrated system, so how do you deal with, you've got 2 or 3 different manufacturers of CMM, you've got maybe 2 or 3 different software design programs, CAD programs or whatever. How do you take all this different data from different platforms and do what you're talking about?
Right. You basically, our software or our implementation, I'm sure other vendors doing the same or heading there, is to create a centralized quality database. Which has all the interfaces and the ability to collect data from the shop floor, to collect data from different parts and different facilities, and funnel all this data to one database that eventually there is no duplication, and the collaboration aspect of everyone working on the same data set is enormous. The benefits are enormous. So there need to be a unifying layer, and we accomplished that by having a database-driven application that is sophisticated enough and connected enough to interface and collect all the data to one location. And part of the trend in the last 10, 15 years is really to be able to manage a high volume of data, to be able to connect and transfer this data in a secure way between system facilities, the interoperability between different applications with protocols and application programming interface, and the ability then to take this data. So now we are getting to the higher level of where human being can, bring some value. We have all this data. We were able to collect it. Now let's make an information out of it, as you indicated, as you introduced me. Let's take all this data and develop analytics. Let's get quality under control. Let's see what are the trends. Let's stop a failing product as we see the statistics taking it out of shape. Let's be proactive and let's be ahead of the game as we manage quality.
Well, Ephy, there's a lot of information there. Obviously, you've given us a good overview of this. We should let all of our users know. Of course, we have a webinar on this topic coming up, as you mentioned. And the title of the webinar, you can see it right there, is Quality 4.0, a game-changing trend. And the webinar is coming up on Wednesday next week, March 14th, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And Sam Golan, who is the chairman and founder of HiQA, is going to be your presenter, and Dirk's going to be hosting. So keep an eye on your email inbox for information about how you can register for that webinar today. So Ephy Torenberg, thanks again for joining us on today's show.
Thank you.
Okay.